So, namaskaram to all. Today, before starting the session, I would like to pay my respectful homage to my friend, Dr. L. Mahadevan, who left us yesterday. Now, we will start our session. Chaturmukha Samarambham Vakbhadacharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ragadirogan Sadadanushaktan Asheshakaya Prasrudan Asheshan Aulsukyamoha Arididan Jakhana Yo Purva Vaidyaya Namostu Tasmai. We were discussing about Pranavayu and Udanavayu as part of our discussion on the Panja Vayus. Now, today we will see the next one, that is Vyana. Vyana. We have seen that the name of the Vayu itself is self-explanatory. We saw it in the case of Prana, we saw it in the case of Udana. Now coming to Vyana, Vividham Aniti Anayati Iti Vyanaha. That is the understanding that we should have. Vividham Aniti Anayati Iti Vyanaha. So, we get a picture about Vyana. Vividham Aniti Anayati. Vyana is that Vayu which moves in Vividham Aniti in diverse modes, diverse speeds, diverse directions. And Vividham Anayati, one which makes other principles move in the same manner. When we look at the description of Vyanavayu by Ashtanga Vakbhada in Ashtanga Sangraha, we find Vyanaha Kriti Avasthitaha. Vyanaha Kriti Avasthitaha Kritsna Deha Charaha Kritsna Deha Charaha Shighra Taragadihi. The word is, or the usage is Shighra Taragadihi. Then Gadi Prasarana Kunjana Ulkshepa Avakshepa Nimesha Unmesha Jrumbhana Annaswatana Sroto Vishodhana Sweda Asriksravanadikriyaha. Not completed. So a big list. What is that? Gati Prasarana Kunjana Ulkshepavakshepa Nimeshonmesha Jrumbhana Annaswadana Sroto Vishodhana Sweda Asriksravanadikriyaha. Then Yonaucha Shukra Pradipadanaha. Yonaucha Shukra Pradipadanaha. Then Vibhajya cha Annasya Sara Kittad Saram. Vibhajya cha Annasya Kittad Saram. Tena Kramashaha Dhadun Tarpayati. A big list. I will read it once again. Gadi prasarana gunjana ulkshepavakshepa nimeshonmesha jrimbhana annaswadana srodo vishodhana svedasriksravanadikriyaha yonaucha shukra pradipadanaha vibhajya cha annasya kittad saram tena kramashaha dhadun tarpayati. A big list of duties assigned to Vyana. That means Vyana is a principle with a huge work potential. Vyana is a principle, a Vayu with a huge work potential. Now we will try to see what these duties are. Start with its seat. Vyanaha Hridi Avasthitaha. So, based on the Hridaya. And Hridaya is the headquarter. But he is Kritsnadehacharaha. Kritsnadehacharaha. Travels everywhere in the Sharira. Then, Shighrataragadihi. Shighrataragadihi shows the speed of the movement of Vayu in the form of Vyana. Shigrataraha, Shigraha, Shigrataraha, Shigratamaha. So it reflects a comparative mood. It travels very fast, faster than any other principle. So is there a comparative mood or not is a tough question to answer, because ultimately Vayu is one and same. But when compared with other Vayus, the range of Vyana is very large. Krishna Deha Charaha. So obviously he should move faster than Prana, the other four Vayus. In Hridaya, Ashtanga Hridaya, Vagbhada is not using that sort of a comparative mood, which is interesting. He just says that Mahajavaha. Mahajavaha means very swift. No comparison is intended. Now, the other karmas, what does that? Gatihi, movement or locomotion, prasarana kunjana, outspread move of an organ, say hand, outspread, away from the body, that is akunjanam. Sorry, that is prasaranam. And flex or contract, that is akunjanam. Prasaranam and akunjanam. Then, so shrinking, akunjanam is about bringing together, bringing closer to the body. Then ulkshepanam is to lift. Avakshepanam is to lower it or bring down. Nimesham, unmesham, we know, closing of the eyes and opening of the eyes. Jrimbhanam is yawning. Annaswadanam, that is a very interesting observation, which is having many clinical applications. Annaswadanam. What is that? Annaswadanam means to relish a food or a meal. Then Srodo Vishodhana. I will come to the details of Annaswadanam on the way. Srodo Vishodhanam, to make the Srodas clean. And here the Srodas, which all Srodas? Any Srodas can be there, isn't it? Any Srodas, which is not specified. But see, when we Krishna Deha Charaha, Shikhataragadihi, so Dhaduvaha, Malavaha, Pranodaga Annavaha, all these things can be considered, but more specifically, we will have to consider Rasavahasrodas and Pranavahasrodas, for which Hridayam is their Moolasthana. So, obviously, this Srodashodhanam should specifically consider Rasavahasrodas and Pranavahasrodas. So, in Rasavahasrododushti and Pranavahasrododushti, we have to consider this Vyanavayu more specifically, in particular. Of course, other involvements are also there. Now, Sweda Sriksravanadi means Sweda Sriksravanadi is attributed to Vyana, means to facilitate the outflow of Sweda while doing the Swedana and the outflow of Rakta in Rakta Mokshana as when done as Chikitsa. So it shows that Vyanavayu has a crucial control over the way in which Swedavahasrodas and Siras which are punctured during various methods of Raktamokshanam, they behave. The Swedavahasrodas, how do the Swedavahasrodasas behave? How do the Siras which carry that Rakta, Sira Vyathanam, or whatever mode of Rakta Mokshana. So those Srodasas behave. Vyana Vayu has a crucial control over that. This is also an interesting point. Now we find Yonaucha Shukra Pradipadanaha. Yonaucha Shukra Pradipadanaha. What is the meaning of Pradipadanaha? Pradipadana is having many meanings. Like any other Sanskrit word, it has got many meanings, including gifting, to gift, giving, donating, etc. So, Yonau Shukra Pradipadanaha is to give, to donate, to gift Shukra in the Yoni. That is an interesting point. Vyana facilitates gifting Shukra in the Yoni. Sometimes we will be, what is it? The eyebrows will be little bit moving upward to express that jnasa, anxiety. What is that? By convention, we have in our minds that Apana is the entity responsible for this action. Immediately we recollect the sloga Shukrartava Shagranmutra Garbha Nishkramana Kriyaha about Apana. So Shukra Nishkramanam is Apana Karma. Here we find Yonaucha Shukra Pratipadanaha as Vyana Karma. But one point we have to understand is that these are different karmas. These are different karmas. Nishkramanam Shukrartava Shagranmutra Garbha Nishkramana Kriyaha. Nishkramanam is all about going out, expelling, leaving, etc. So there is no destination defined. There is no destination defined. But in Pradipadanam, in giving, in donating, in gifting, the target is defined. Yonaucha Shukra Pradipadana. So here it is not just the process of ejaculation, but something more. Something more. It will be interesting to recollect some other observations at this point, which will make the idea clearer. What are they? Take Ashtanga Hridayam Shariram. First chapter. It goes like this. Purna Shodasha Varshas 3 Purna Vimshena Sangada Shuddhe Garbhashaye Marge Rekte Shukre Nile Hridi Viryavandam Sudam Sude Purna Shodasha Varshas 3 Purna Vimshena Sangada And some conditions, what are they? Viryavandam Sudam Sute is outcome. Not just Sudam Sute, Viryavandam Sudam Sute. When Shuddhe Garbhashaye Marge, Shuddhe Garbhashaye, Shuddhe Marge, Shuddhe Rakte, Shuddhe Shukre, Shuddhe Anile, Shuddhe Hrdi. Shuddhe Anile, Shuddhe Hrdi. Two things. So that slok, that document in that sloka is very interesting. I will come to it later. Then one more sloka. See, Shuddha Shukrartavam Swastham Samraktam Midhunam Mithaha Snehaihi Pumsavanai Snigdham Shuddham Shilitavastikam Shuddha Shukrartavam Swastham Samraktam Midhunam Mithaha Snehaihi Pumsavanaihi Snigdham Shuddham Shilitavastikam. One more sloka. What is that? Patmam Sangojamayadi Dinedide Yatha Tadha Patmam Sangojamayadi Dinedide Yatha Tadha Rudavadite Yonihi Rudavadite Yonihi Sa Shukram Nada Pradichati Sa Shukram Nadaha Pradichati Na Pradichati Na Prapayati Ityarthaha. So in the first sloka quoted, we find Shuddhe Garbhashaye Marge Rekte Shukre Anile Hridi. These are the conditions for giving birth to a Viryavandam Sudam, a healthy progeny. So apart from the physical maturity in terms of age, we find Shuddha Garbhashayam, Shuddha Margam, Shuddha Raktam, Shuddha Artavam, Shuddha Vayu and Shuddha Hridayam. These are all listed here. So Shuddha Anilatvam and Shuddha Hridayatvam. Here the Shuddha Hridayatvam means Prasanna Manastvam. Prasanna Manastvam. That is very important, and that is very crucial in the Viryavandam Sudam Sute. So Anila should be Shuddha, Manas should be Prasanna. And that Manas is Hridayasthita Manas. And that Hridaya is Vyano Hridi Avasthitaha. So that Anila and Manas is very important in Viryavandam Sudam Sute. That is one area where we have to connect Vyana with the how the yoni receives the gift. Many translational implications in clinical practice. Lot of translational implications. Now, the second sloka we find Shuddham Shuddha Shukrartavam Swastam Samraktam Midhunam Mithaha. So we find Samraktam Midhunam Mithaha. Mithaha Samraktam Midhunam. Mithaha Samraktam means Anyonyam Anuraktam. Mithaha Samraktam Midhunam means Anyonyam Anuraktam. Again, highlighting the role of Manas, where Vayu is of crucial role. And that Vayu is also Dhyana Vayu. Now, in the third sloka, we found Patmam Sangojamayadi Dinedite Yatha Tadha Hridavadite Yonihi Sa Shukram Nada Pradichati. Shukram Nada Pradichati. Hindu explains Garbhashayam na prapayadi iti arthaha. So that shows it is not just the ejaculation, but the acceptance of Shukram by Yoni, which is going to be important in Garbhadharanam. Apart from the physical factors, this acceptance is influenced by the mental factors as well. The mental factors of the couple. So it is here we have to connect the karma of Vyanavayu, Yonau cha Shukra Pradipadanaha. Yonau cha Shukra Pradipadanaha. So this indicates, if I take it as a whole, the role of Vyanavayu in doing any activity with a mindfulness. Doing any activity with the mindfulness. This is very, very important. Here we read it as Yonaucha Shukra Pratipadanaha, but it is not limited to that particular function. It is connected to every action. Recall the usage of Hridaya Vakbhada, that Prayas Sarva Kriyaha Tasmin Pradibadhaha Sharirinam. Prayaha Sarvaha Kriyaha Tasmin Pradibadhaha. Sarvaha Kriya. So if you have to deliver any karma with mindfulness, whose support you need, whose involvement you need? The involvement of Vayu. Involvement of Vayu. If we have to do any activity with mindfulness, there should be Anugraha of Vayu, and that Vayu is Vyana Vayu. Anugraha of Vyana. And we should also recollect one particular statement in this context by Acharya Charaka, Saumanasyam Garbhadharananam. Saumanasyam Garbhadharananam, which reflects the role of manas in the entire process of conception and its maintenance. Earlier we saw Annaswadanam as Vyanakarma. Annaswadanam, the same faculty of manas in Annaswadanam also is going to be decisive. That is going to be decisive. So it is all about mindful eating. In the description of the way in which ahara should be consumed, we can find Vakbhada becoming very liberal in his words, isn't it? There you will find the whole picture of mindful eating, where Vyana is going to be the most important principle. We find Kale Satmim Suchihitam Snigdhoshnam Lekhutan Manah Shadrasam Madhuraprayam Nadidruda Vilambidam Snadak Shudvan Viviktastha Dhaudapada Karananaha Tarpaitva Pidrun Devan Adidhin Balagan Gurun Pratyavekshya Tiraschobi Pratipanna Parigrahan Samikshya Samyagatmanam Anindan Abruvan Dravam Ishtam Ishtai Sahasniyad Shuji Bhakta Janahridam Matrasidi Yamashtanghirde. So what is getting revealed is all about the role of Dhyanava in mindful delivery of activities. Mindful delivery of activities. Then, one more point which will substantiate this role of Vayu, especially in this process of Annaswadanam and the further stages of Annapachanam. We can see one important documentation. What is that? Annam na jiryati upataptena bhuktam cha क्रोधशोग भयादिभिः क्रोधशोग भयादिभिः उपतप्तेन भुक्तम अन्नम न जीर्यति. Why? Because there is no mindfulness. And when there is no mindfulness, even the Agni is not cooperating. Agni is not going to cooperate. Then what next? Next karma of Vyana, in the description what we saw, we will get only few more minutes. We will not be able to complete Vyana, but anyway, next karma is vibhajya cha annasya kittad saram. Vibhajya cha annasya kittad saram tena kramashah dhadun tarpayati. Tena kramashah dhadun tarpayati. Annasya kittad saram vibhajya. Separating the sara of anna from kitta. In effect, segregating the sara and pitta. Segregating the sara. Where does this occur? Where does this process occur? It is occurring in the grahani and the desha immediately below it. Something related with the amashaya, grahani, pakvashaya. Primarily in the agnisthana and the nearby sthanas in the koshta. Agnisthana and the nearby sthanas. Then there is a question naturally. Is this a samana karma or vyana karma? Is this a samana karma or vyana karma? We will see it. First we will see the explanations about samana later, and then we will come to it. But now we will discuss the vyana's explanation. What is that? Annasya kittad saram vibhajya. Tena means using that saram, kramashah, sequentially, following a kramam, an order, dhadun tarpayati, nourishes the dhadus. So here vyana is assigned with the function of distribution of ahara sara, which subsequently becomes the rasadhadu all throughout and nourish the subsequent dhadus in an order. There is an order, and everyone knows the famous note by Acharya Vakbhada. What is that? Vyanena rasadhadurhi vikshepojita karmana yugavat sarvadojasram dehe vikshipyade sada. Sada. Vyanena rasadhadurhi vikshepojita karmana yugavat sarvadojasram dehe vikshipyade sada. Shariram, 3rd chapter, Ashtanga Hridaya. So vikshepojita karmana vyanena. Vikshepojita karmana vyanena. Here vyana is getting an accreditation, a special graduation. What is that? He is vikshepojita karma. Vikshepam is his ujita karma. Vikshepam is his ujita karma. Uchitam. What is uchitam? Uchitam has many meanings, like proper, customary, suitable, etc., etc. And one important meaning is uchitam, natural. Natural. That means swabhava siddham. That is the most appropriate, most apt word here. Vikshepa means the natural karma, ujita karma. natural karma of Vyanavayu, Swabhava Siddha. And what is Vikshepam? Vikshepam, we have seen Vikshepam in many contexts. Vikshepam means to throw up or throw out, throw around, moving to and fro, scatter, disperse, toss, dispatch. All these are meanings of Vikshepam. There may be many other meanings. And forget about the unlisted meanings. What we have seen here, all these meanings are relevant in our context also. Vyana is Vikshepochita karma. Vikshepochita karma. Throwing away, moving to and fro in a wavy manner, dispatch all around. These are all natural karmas of Vyana, Uchita karma. So, Vikshepochita karmana Vyanena Rasadhaduhu Sada Dehe Vikshipyate. Sada Dehe Vikshipyate. Rasadhaduhu Sada Dehe Vikshipyate. Spreads, disperses. Rasadhadu Sada, always. And some few more words. One is Yugavad. Yugavad means simultaneously, together. So the Vikshepanam happens along with, together with the formation of Rasadhatu. As and when the Rasadhatu is formed, it is getting dispersed as well. Sarvataha. Sarvataha means everywhere, in all directions. Ajasram, constantly. So, Vikshepanam of Rasadhatu by Vyanavayu is constant, simultaneous with the production of Rasadhatu, everywhere, in all directions. This is very, very important. And it is from this point that we have to understand Kramashaha Dhadun Tarpayati. Kramashaha Dhadun Tarpayati. Rasadraktam Tado Mamsam Mamsanme Dastado Asthicha. Like that. And very interesting, these lines show how different subtypes of Vayu coordinate a complex function, and how different doshas work together. There are many connected ideas documented. Here, Hridayam is an important sthana, which is the headquarter of Vyana. It is operating in the Saragitta Vibhajana in the Amashaya, which is also a function of Samana, which is also a function of Pajakapitta. So it shows a system which is highly complex but well synced. Similarly, we find Dashamula Sira Kritsthaha Ta Sarvam Sarvato Vapuhu Rasatmagam Vahandyojaha Tannibadham Hicheshtitam. Again, in the third chapter of our Sharirasthan. Dashamula Sira Kritsthaha. We can connect this with many sampraptis like that of Panduroga. Need not be Panduroga alone, in all diseases. In all, Yatra Sangha Ghavai Gunyad Vyadhis Tatro Bajayate. Then Kramashaha Dhadun Tarpayati. So there is an order maintained, but we know that there are situations where this order is not maintained always. There are situations of akrama dhatu poshanam, an orderless, like the case of vajikaranam. So here by the word kramashaha, it is ascertained that in akrama dhatu poshanam, Vyana has very limited say. There, the dravya prabhavam is important and agnibalam. Dravya prabhavam and agnibalam are more important, not the role of Vyana in that akrama dhatu poshanam. So, kramashaha dhadun tarpayati. Now we will find how these things are working together while we find samana vayu also. So today we will stop here. There can be many other points which can be discussed, but definitely I expect that those points will be discussed in the, as happened a couple of weeks back, in the group as well. And I think there is something in the chat box. Does Vyana has connection with the premature ejaculation? Definitely, premature ejaculation definitely has got a role by of Vyana. So while treating premature ejaculation, don't focus on the apana alone. Don't focus on the apana alone. It need not be a fault of apana. But definitely we have to consider apana, because apana is the vayu which is seated in the Mulastha. We will come to, I think this will be automatically covered when we cover all the 5 vayus. Anyway, that is an important, I think it is a clinical question. It's a very pointed clinical question. Thank you for that. So today we will actually, we can elaborate these points because they are all interconnected. From various sampraptis, we can come to this. And each and every word which we might not have attended otherwise has got fine senses of meaning. Like as we told that anna swadanam, we will read it casually. Okay, anna swadanam. Yona ucha shukra pradipadanaha, or kramashaha dhadun tarpayati. So every word matters. And then only, I think when we look into these finer aspects, then only I think the way in which Ayurveda is trying to come forth with a beautiful clinical methodology based on its own sankalpa of Sharira, that point will be unraveled. I do not know how far I am doing justice to that task. Anyway, we will try together. Thank you very much. So I'm calling it a day today. And Vishayam sadhu vrittanam bhadram agamashalinam abhyasta karmanam bhadram bhadram bhadravashanam. Thank you very much. See you next Wednesday.